And that's what the book's about. It's a 6-step process, organizational process, in order to successfully run the project. So not only is the tech and number crunching sound, but also it actually gets deployed, and everyone, even on the business side, is enough on the same page to contribute to that process and actually authorize it from an informed, understood standpoint. So it takes a very particular specialized process, because what we're talking about is predictions. Now, prediction is basically a shorthand for probabilities. But the reason we don't call it probabilities is because that sounds boring. But it's not boring, because all you're saying when you say the word probability is a number between 0 and 1, or between 0 and 100, same difference. That tells you what are the chances, based on the data we have and the best science that we have, that this outcome or behavior is going to happen. Is this individual customer going to click, buy, lie, or die, commit an act of fraud, turn out to be a bad debtor, et cetera?
Yeah.
And you're putting a number, because the thing is, what we don't have is a magic crystal ball. We don't have clairvoyance. We can't expect computers to either, but they can predict better than guessing, and generally better than humans. And that ends up being extremely valuable. But once you recognize, okay, it's not predicting perfectly, and in that sense also can also gauge its own confidence. Well, the confidence is the probability. That's what it's doing. It's saying, hey, there's a 30% chance this customer is going to cancel. Not a 100% chance. They're still probably not going to cancel. But compared to the baseline, where only 5% are going to cancel in the next, whatever the time window is, three months or whatever. Okay, it's 6 times more likely than average to cancel. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
And it turns out to allow businesses to play the numbers games that are intrinsic to that's inherently what business is. It's a numbers game. Now you tip the odds in your favor. Acting on probabilities is the enlightenment. I mean, this is what we need to do. This is the best of applying science to improve business procedures and business outcomes. So that's what we're talking about. But people shy away from probabilities. The semi-technical understanding that's going to overcome the pitfalls that are so often encountered is that business side stakeholders get their head around 3 things: what's predicted, how well, and what's done about it. So in other words, the probability of what exactly?
Yeah.
Which customers who've been around this long and are going to decrease their spend by 80% in the next 3 months and not increase it accordingly in another channel because that doesn't count as canceling, et cetera. Whatever it is, you have to flesh out the details with business considerations and business stakeholder input on that level of detail. Then how do you measure its performance? What are the right metrics in terms of pure predictive performance, and in terms of the business outcomes you're hoping for, in terms of the improved profit, ROI, savings, number of customers saved, business metrics. And then what's done about it? How are you actually driving decisions? Like, I'm going to automatically hold all card transactions that are above, are more than 80% likely to be fraudulent.
Right.
Or more than 50% more likely to be fraudulent, or whatever it is. You have to make the decision, and those are business driven decisions. And on that level of semi-technical understanding, we need to get the stakeholders. Now, in that sense, if we want to compare this to the pitfalls for digital transformations in general, I would hazard to say that for these enterprise machine learning projects, the problem is worse because it deals with probabilities, and people aren't often comfortable with or trained in thinking about it. They think, I'm going to delegate all these details of this project to the data scientist. And that's a huge mistake, because business side stakeholders must be involved every step of the way, get involved in that level of detail, not be afraid of it, and realize it's completely pertinent. I mean, if you're driving hundreds of thousands of operational decisions, you're going to use a little math to improve how well that works.